Now that we have our gigs listed on our home page, I think this is a good time to create some dummy data. I like to have data to play around with when I'm building out an application so that I can better see and better understand what the end result is going to be. So the first thing that we'll want to do is go into our gem file, and at the bottom here I want to add the gem faker, the faker gem. And this gem just allows you to create fake data or fake information. So if you have a name, you can create a fake name. If you have an address, you can create a fake address. And you'll see how that all plays out once we do this here. So we're going to add that to the development environment, and close out of this, or cancel your Rails server, and then run bundle. So install the gem, and then you can run your server again. And the place that you want to create all of this code to create your data is in the seeds file. And you'll see how we use this later, but essentially when you run the seeds file, it'll run all this code and basically create all of our data for us. So the first thing we'll do is category. We want to create a category where name is, and in our case we'll just say web development first, or create name web development. And just to explain what this line of code is doing here, it's saying for a category where the name is web development, find one that is of web development. Find a category that has the name web development. If there is one, don't create it. If there is not one, then go ahead and create it. And so this will just help us kind of keep the duplication down to a low, to a minimum, so that we're not, every time we run this seeds file, we're not creating a new category called web development every single time. So it just goes and finds the name of that category. If it exists, don't create it. If it doesn't exist, go ahead and create it. So you can do this for a few different things, so, or however many categories you want. So here we have web development. Let's say design here if you want to go that route. Design. And actually, let me just copy this one here. Instead of design, let's say finance. And you can add as many categories as you like. But for now, I'll do 3. We want a location for all of our gigs. So here's what I like to do. Denver, Colorado. Let's say San Francisco, California, Minneapolis, Minnesota, New York, and again, you can create as many locations as you'd like. I'll just stick with those for now. And now let's create a user. So user where email, I like to use Bob first, or create. Name is Bob Green, and actually we don't have a name on there yet. That's fine. We'll add that later. I don't believe we added name to users yet. We did not, and that's okay. So I'll keep the name out for now. We do want to write email. Email. Password is PW. So there goes our user. And now gig where name is, and actually we don't need this, we'll just say gig create. So 50 times, or we'll just say 100 times do and gig create name of faker, name, title, and the description. going to be faker lorem paragraph. And these fakers, so right here when I'm calling faker on here, the module, that's all covered in the faker gem GitHub documentation. So if you'd like, you can definitely, there are plenty of other methods that you can call to put in fake data, but these are just the ones that I'm using. Budget. Let's say the budget is randomly either 200 or 10,000. Location is going to grab it from that location sample. So essentially what this is doing here is for this location, go up here, grab this location, and get a random one from here. So assign a random location to this gig. That way, when you do it 100 times, it'll go through here, create a new fake title, a new fake paragraph here, a new fake description, randomly grab a budget, and then the location, it'll randomly pick one of these ones. So it'll do that 100 times. User ID. We'll just keep it at 1 for now. And actually, let's do, yeah, we'll do it for 1 right now. User ID is going to be Bob here. And we can change this later if you need to. And then category ID, random. 1 via, how many categories do we have? 3? 1, 3 right there. And so when we're creating these categories up here, it'll create category of ID 1, 2, and 3. And then down here, it'll randomly just assign a number to it, 1, 2, or 3, of which case it'll be one of these ones here. All right. So it does that. And let's see here. That should be good enough for now. Let's just save it. We can always add more to this, but for now, just to get things working, I think this is good enough. You could add a new user or more users. And actually, let's just do that. Let's add 10 more users. 10 times do and user where email, actually, yeah, where email is, actually, let's just create a new user every single time. Create email is faker internet email, and the password PW for all of them. All right, so this should be good enough to get us going. So in order to run this file, we'll say rake db seed. Great. Now if we go into our application, and actually let's just go into the Rails console to see if it created it. So let's just do user.all. Here you go. So we've got here user.last. So it went through and created all of our users and whatnot. So exit. Let's go into our application. Do a refresh. Fantastic. There you go. So here are all of our gigs right here. So we created 100 gigs. And if you go all the way down here, you'll see all of them. If you go and scroll inside here, you'll be able to see gigs. This is gig number 52. And each location is different. So Denver, Minneapolis, New York. Fantastic. So we've created our dummy data so that we have a lot more data to play around with. If you even go in here, let's look at the description. Yeah, we've got the description right here. You can always add a longer one if you'd like. Totally up to you, but we've created some dummy data here, so now it's good to play around with, and now continuing to build the application, it'll just be easier to see what the end result's going to look like.